What's up guys, Mr. SLIN here with another video. I'm doing demo reviews. So if you guys are interested in submitting your own demo review, check the link in the description below. It'll point you to this thread, which is called Post a Medic demo, and get a video response where I review on my live stream your gameplay to help you guys out. Today's demo comes from Burko, who is aiming to play in High Open this season of ESEA. One thing in particular that he's been working to do is work on the coordination / synergy with his Pocket, who made the transition from Scout last season. So what he's telling me is that his Pocket is an off-classer, picking up a new class, and so isn't really that familiar with Pocket, but is familiar with TF2. This is a team that they've been trading scrims with recently, and they'd like some help fixing where they went wrong. Burko, thank you so much for submitting the demo. Happy to help you out here. I took a peek at the sizzling stats and spoiled it for myself that it's a 2-to-1 in a 30-minute Gullywash game. So I'm probably not going to go over the whole thing. I also noticed from the stats here that one of your scouts went 13 and 23 with 164 damage per minute. So not the strongest. So I can right off the bat tell that one of your scouts just didn't have the best game here. And, ooh, you missed the crossbow on the rollout. So not having the greatest start here, but we'll see how this one goes. Putting heals into your scouts. And you can already tell, if you guys have been watching some of my European demo reviews, the North American style is much different than the European style. Much more heals going into the scouts and soldiers as the no man gets left for dead, but still works out just fine for you. Great surf, Burko. You guys wipe their team, and a very solid job by you guys there. What I recommend you do right now is you capture the point with ×4 up until halfway. After it reaches halfway, you immediately send your medic and soldier forward and let the scout finish the cap so you can begin putting a ×2 on the 4th point. You're going to find out in a second that you end up getting punished for this probably because you're not going to be able to get capture time on 2nd point here or the position that you want. See, notice how you're not able to maintain the high... Oh, okay, your Pocket's going for it. All right, you guys are going for it after all, and you guys have uber advantage. The other enemy team is not going to contest you here. You need to watch out for a potential sniper, so you drop down. On purpose. I can tell that was completely on purpose. Very nicely done. Just kidding. I think he fell down accidentally, but that was the right call actually to not be in that position because there's a potential sniper. And then you decide to go into lobby and pop very, very early. This is not where you want to be popping your Ubers. I never like starting out the demo on a negative note, but you guys won mid, which is a good thing. When you pop Ubers, you always want to pop through a choke point. Anytime you pop an Uber and it's not through a choke point and you're not getting at least 2 kills, it's probably a mistake. So if you pop the Uber here and you get 2 kills, it's fine. But if there's nothing here and you don't get at least through the choke point, it's a mistake. Because what's going to happen here is your Uber's going to wear off, they're going to sticky up those choke points, and you're not going to be able to break through, and you would have popped an Uber for nothing. So I'm not quite sure why you... Oh, it looks like you popped the Uber to a sniper who was peeking from River, but I really think you could have just been a little bit more patient and take your time pushing last. There's 2 reasons why you'd want to rush the last point with your Uber right now. Option number 1 is because they're about to get Uber. As you can see, they're at 65% Uber. Let's say, assuming that it takes 40 seconds to build an Uber, 30% of that is, I can't do math, let's say 12 seconds. So it would take another 12 seconds for them to get Uber, assuming they're building perfectly efficiently. And they're not going to be building perfectly efficiently. It's probably going to be closer to like 15 seconds away from Uber at this point in time. So you guys have 15 seconds to, you know, buff up players, assemble yourselves in lobby, zone out the sniper. Like, there's just so much time, and you guys, I feel like you rushed it a little bit. So what I would have rather you did here in this situation is drop your Pocket soldier and then pop 5 of your players into last point. That would have actually probably got you the round. Because you popped so early, not going to get you the round. Also, the scout that I mentioned earlier, who had a very difficult game, he's already dead before the push, which is always a bad sign. So you guys are probably going to have to bail on this push right now because it's 5-on-6, virtually evens. Looks like Skelly Yambo didn't get the memo. So now you're going to be down a player, more importantly, you're down your roaming soldier, trying to force their Uber on 2nd point. And you can already see how much more difficult it's going to be in this position. Another thing I'm noticing here is that your team's not aligned on the same page. So you're telling me you want your team to be in High Open, but you guys are not coordinating, all doing the same activity. The activity needs to be the same that everyone's doing. Everyone's either attacking, everyone's defending. Like, you don't really want the situation where half the people are attacking, half the people are defending, unless it's a sacrifice play, which is clearly what you're going for right now. But typically speaking, oh, that's a nice arrow. Typically speaking, you don't really want to be having like your demo man holding forward, trying to defend while everyone else is bailing on him, and it doesn't really result in a good situation in the long run, typically. Right here, you can see that some of your players are in 4th point fighting, and you're completely backed up to your side of middle, baiting your demo man. So it's not quite aligned here, so there's something a little bit off with the play calling as far as like getting everyone on the same page doing the same thing. Actually, so I like how you did so there's 2 things you did right here that were really, really good with that Uber. This Uber is much better than the last one. You popped through a choke point, which is the shutter door, and you got 2 kills with the Uber. That's exactly what you want to be doing with your Ubers. I really, really like what you did there. So as you can see, like dropping a couple players can be okay as long as you get a good Uber off. And hopefully you see the value in that moving forward. Sometimes it's okay to drop players in order to get a better Uber. Okay. Okay. I kind of wish your demo man stood still there to help you out. Generally speaking, you got to spend as much time facing forward as possible to dodge the demo man spam. I think you're doing a good job here, but your rotation has to be much faster. You need to get into upper 2 as quickly as you can because you're down a demo man. There you go. You guys made it just fine. It could have been a little faster, but you're fine. You guys got in the right position at the right timing. You guys are down a demo man, so you need to be spamming the choke point to try and get that Uber force. Doing a really good job here of dodging the spam and keeping max health. I really, really like what I'm seeing here from you. You guys are down a player. This is becoming a risky play, but you're going for it anyways. Okay, you guys are able to lock down the choke and get a frag. This is really, really solid. Really, really good. They pop Uber first, and you pop Uber second. This is so much better. And I like how you're getting to the choke point with this Uber, trying to body block that soldier. This is really, really good. Your Uber is so much longer. You guys should be able to get some damage in here or maybe finish off a frag, but not everyone is aligned with you on that push. You guys only had 1 pocket soldier who used all of his rockets on that push, and it was just not enough. So I feel you guys could have done a better job with that. There must have been like a really big distraction going on the flank because you guys just did not have enough people at the choke. Okay. To make matters worse, you died. So they're going to have full Uber advantage pushing last. Okay. You're putting a lot of stock into this heavy, trying to keep him alive. It's actually working brilliantly. That worked way too well. That worked way too well. It typically doesn't work that well. Like, that is one of the best executions for like keeping your heavy alive the whole time. He was down to like a sliver of health to hold that last point. That was brilliant. It typically doesn't work that well. I was going to criticize you guys for not putting enough health into your demo man prior to the push, because typically the demo man is one of the first people to get targeted down, especially on Uber disadvantage. But it worked really, really well. Okay, popping through a choke point. Okay. Whenever you pop through a choke point and you don't get any kills, that's a signal to you that you probably didn't need to pop. So if you rewind 15 seconds back on this YouTube video and look at it again, you probably can see how you didn't need to pop. You probably could have maybe backed out around the corner of the big door and dodged some spam a little bit and feigned and pretended like you're going to pop, but not actually do it. That would have been enough to scare them away, back them off. You probably didn't need to pop. Wow, you guys are very close to Uber right now. Oh! Wow, I don't think you deserve that, but hey, why not? Okay, see, I feel like you're positioning your Uber in the wrong spot. I'm trying to figure out why you... I'm going to turn the lights off, actually, sorry. It's getting kind of late, so... I'm trying to figure out why you would be at the big door in this position, because you were in elbow with a perfect opportunity with a better Uber to pop up into their choke and destroy their team. And I'm trying to figure out what the advantage is of staying on the ground, because look at the scout on you in like 2 seconds, right? And look at where your teammates are. So you had an opportunity, a prime opportunity, because remember, they popped Uber in first. You popped Uber second. So you know you're going to be destroying them, right? In addition, you had number advantage for a moment in time. And if you were up at the choke, you could have been flashing more of your teammates and keeping them alive. So I really feel like you take that surf towards big door, immediately grab one of your teammates, like your soldier, and then run up the elbow, and then try and just destroy everybody at the choke, monopolize the health packs, keep the high ground. That would have been the play. Instead, you're on the low ground here all by yourself, getting rolled. So... it's going to work out for you guys because you popped a better Uber, but it could have been played better. All right, so it's going to be even Ubers here because both you and their medic died around the same time. But Steel, for some reason, is not healing. I like the decision here to actually push the choke and go for a dry push. This is really interesting. Just be really careful about the spam. Ooh. I think you were really making a strong effort to try and heal your demo man. But just know in that situation that it's way more important to keep your health alive. So let your demo man, he's on his own for a little bit as you try your darndest to avoid spam. Okay, so in this situation, what you want to be doing is climbing. It's much safer to be on the high ground here. And while you do that climb, your scout should be building. It's okay here to also be on last point. The reason why I recommend climbing up into upper 2 through the stairs into river is because it will allow your team to spam the second point and stall just a little bit longer. See, you need to remember that situation where the very first round you guys had 35% Uber advantage. They're in the same position right now. And what your objective is to stall them for 15 seconds so you can get Uber. And you guys didn't make any effort to slow them down a second point. I'm not saying you're required to, but I kind of would have liked to see you guys push up into, like, what I could have seen from you guys is you build Uber at the forward spawn, climb the stairs up into second point, tell your teammates to roll out the river, your soldiers jump up into river, you quickly buff your teammates, you guys just throw some spam rockets onto the point and then back up to last as your scout sets up a sentry gun or something. I think that would have been the play there as a potential way to buy the 15 seconds you need to get Uber. Really, really good spam at the choke. Good milking. I like your decision of who to flash. Kind of wish you flashed Nomi there so that he could run into the river with that Uber charge. I think you flashed a couple too many people. And then you're so focused on the heal order, you're not considering where the threats are coming next. That's what it appeared like to me. Tell me I'm wrong. But it didn't look like you were thinking about where you're going to die from next. So the mid fight has a few phases. I'm going to write out the phases so you guys have them. The first phase is the exchange. So that's the Uber exchange. You can call it the Uber exchange. And in the Uber exchange, there's a couple pieces within it. They popped, right? And then you popped. And I'm going to say you popped like 3 seconds later. So because you popped 3 seconds later, you have a 3-second better Uber. Better Uber. That's what just happened. And because you have a better Uber, you should be thinking about how the hell do I fuck them over as best I can? How do I take this Uber and just ram it up their butt and like totally own them with it, right? That's what you should be thinking. So what I wasn't seeing from you there was thinking about how to take that Uber into them to make that happen. Because you initially ran away, which was the right call, to the top left. After you popped the Uber, you started flashing a bunch of players. And the more players you flash, the more of this 3 seconds of extra Uber time you're wasting. Every flash deducts half a second of Uber away. So you need to flash the least number of people possible in order to maximize the amount of Uber time. So after you have you recognize you have a better Uber, think about like, how do I take these 3 seconds and jam it up their butt? And then what you do is you think about, where's their combo, right? Where's their combo? Like, where are their players? And then how do I get my players into their players? And it should look something like this. If you're doing it properly, it should look something like this. Okay? It should look something like that, but like, just think about like where they are, and then pop your Uber, and then immediately think, where's their combo? I have a better Uber, where's their combo? And then just take your soldier scout and flash them and just run it up into the choke into them after you've neutralized the threat on last. You don't want to ignore people behind you, but you want to kill the closest thing to you and use that Uber. The extra 3 seconds is so valuable. Oh my God. There's so much you can do with the extra 3 seconds. You can get 1 or 2 frags with that. And furthermore, you should be staying alive. Because you have 3 extra seconds of Uber, when you like jam it through a choke point like that, you should be able to create a lot of space for you to work with, and then you can use that space to stay alive. So yeah, just during the stalemate, I'm just going to reinforce these concepts with you. Pop the Uber, figure out whose Uber is better. Then if yours is better, figure out where their combo is and try and jam it up their butt. All right, I think we got this. We got that settled. I think you probably should have grabbed the health pack there, but I respect you not taking it. It's fine. I think you should be running away as fast as you can, my man. You're down 2 players, including a demo man. Your rotation could be faster. There's no reason to linger. Move from position to position as swiftly as you can. There's no reason to linger between positions. Position 1 is the choke. Position 2 is upper 2. Go from choke to upper 2 as rapidly as you can. Hey, Sour. Okay. Very large number advantage. Even Ubers, you guys should be just rolling them right now. Just roll. And there's a demo man alive. You're looking for the traps. I can see why you want to grab the health pack, but you should be more focused on taking advantage of the 3-man advantage. Okay, you guys are going for that force. This is looking good. This is looking very, very good. Check your 6. Check your 6. There could be a player behind you. Yeah, there was a player behind you, actually. Oh my God, you're playing so risky right now, Burko. Okay, one thing I saw in that play was like a real lack of awareness. And so let me describe to you in theory crafting mode how that play should have gone, okay? Ignoring the fact that it took you guys so long to get into mid. Now that you've gotten through mid, you're going through big door, right? Let me draw it like this. Okay, so here's like a shutter door right here. Okay, I'm gonna draw it like this. There's a shutter door right here, and there's a second shutter door right here. We call this one little door. This big door looks like this, and then there's like a control point over here, and then there's like a wall that goes up here into choke point. And this choke point is completely botched, but I think for the purposes of this drawing, this is not drawn to scale. This should be good enough. Okay, so imagine this situation. You have 1, 2, 3 players here. I think it was you, a soldier, and a scout. And then you have 3 players here against 3 of their players. Now, if you were hitting tab, you'd recognize that a couple of their players are also spawning soon and coming to the shutter door. And you guys are playing the fine line right here, right? Where you need to get in here and force their Uber, but then be aware of this area so that you don't get screwed over. So there's a couple ways you could play this. One is to just go right in here with your Uber and kill everything. That's not a very good play because they can just run away from you into last and you would have popped your Uber for nothing. Conversely, they could do the same thing to you over here. And so you're not really creating an advantage with this situation. So you read the situation properly and decided, okay, let's take the Uber over here. But at the same time, you need to recognize that this is a threat. Now, what a lot of teams will do is they'll bring their demo man with them because the demo man can throw stickies on this door and prevent them from getting into the fight. So the red team has no choice but to clear this trap or go around the trap into upper 2, which takes forever, as you can see. So the proper play here is to, because you had no demo man with you, you don't have a choice in the matter. You just need to get in. So this rotation where you get from point all the way around to here, like this play right here, needs to happen like super fast, okay? So what I'd like for you to do in the future is understand the number situation and just make it happen faster, okay? So what needs to happen is you need to get over here, force the Uber, wait 8 seconds, and then kill them with your Uber. All in about 10 seconds of time because these guys are spawning super fast. What I would have liked to see you do next time is jump your soldier onto upper 2, either here or up here. So upper 2 is this area up here. He could jump into upper 2, and then which is also called the gangplank. There's like a gangplank that sticks out here. He can jump onto the gangplank and shoot down and force the Uber. You can also, there's like a scaffolding on the second point. You can have your soldier jump onto the scaffolding. Meanwhile, your scout on the low ground can just run up here and poke at them. And then you, my friend, need to find somewhere to stand that's very safe. And what I would have recommended is you run behind the point. You could also run directly at them if you'd like. But you need to get away from here as quickly as you possibly can. Now, actually, what I mentioned before, like maybe in the previous team fight, is that 3 seconds of Uber is actually a really long amount of time. So all you really need to do is just force this Uber, count to like 4. If you can milk it for 4 seconds, you're basically guaranteed to win this fight because the collapsing power you have right here is so strong, there's nothing they can do to stop you. So this rotation just needs to happen faster. And that's why, assuming this team rotates as quickly as they can, that's why I was emphasizing to you earlier that your rotation from choke point to upper 2 needs to happen as fast as possible because you're trying to prevent this situation from happening. So you need to rotate up here very quickly when you're in that position. And then the blue team needs to rotate through here very quickly in this position. So in the very high levels of the game, if you really want to be like an intermediate level team, you should know exactly what you need to do next and then make it happen faster. And what I was most disappointed with when watching you play here is that your awareness was so low. You were really focused on the situation, like healing your teammates, flashing people. You kind of like dropped your demo man over here at the big door. There was like a lot going on for you and it was just so messy. It needs to be cleaner. Just need to be faster, more decisive. Just make this play happen super fast and just run your way through here directly in. And a lot of times, invite teams, they'll only leave 1 player to cap, and then 5 players will rush in here to make this play happen, just because they want that rotation to happen very quickly. Either way, you guys end up with the victory on the team fight. Did their medic get out alive? That'd be really disappointing to see if that happened. Looks like it did. So, yeah. It's disappointing that you guys had such a large advantage. They were 3 players down, and you kind of squandered that opportunity. And they're even able to capture second point back and keep the Ubers relatively close. You guys were just not punishing hard enough right there. Okay, so 30% advantage, an opportunity to win the round by pushing choke right now. I don't think you guys recognize that they had 30% advantage because Steel stayed alive the entire time, so you might have thought to yourself, oh, Ubers are even. But if you were keeping track of everything, you would recognize that like their team fighting was very scattered, and Steel had to like run back to last by himself, and he wasn't healing that entire time. So yeah, notice you lost a 14-second Uber advantage on STV stats. But you guys picked up 2 frags here. This is looking really good. So this is the same exact play I was describing earlier, except for somehow you guys popped first. Do you... I'm going to theory craft it in a different way to help you visualize this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and they have 1, 2, 3. If you guys pop Uber at the same time as they do, that allows all 3 players to get out alive. But what you could do, hypothetically speaking, is do a 2-man sacrifice, right? All right, I need to draw it as a box. Or I could just do it like this. A 2-man sacrifice. Even if you did a 2-man sacrifice right now, you would have a 4-man advantage over them. Or not a 4-man, you'd have a 1-man advantage over them. So what I would have preferred you see you do here, Burko, is milk your Uber like way more and drop players. It's okay to drop players in the situation. You're not required for you to do so. In fact, many invite teams will be able to force this Uber without having to drop players. But I'm saying you should not have to pop this Uber in this situation. Like, ideal situation, all 6 of you stay alive and you don't pop Uber at all. But in a worst case scenario, you drop 3 players to get the force. And then you have a 8-second better Uber with a 3-on-3. So that's just like theory crafting it in a way that hopefully you can visualize why this is bad, because look at their medic. He's going to use the entire 8 seconds of the Uber to run out to last and get out alive. And all you guys are going to get out of this is second point. Now you might be like, oh, this is really good. I got second point. And actually their medic died, which is like a complete mistake from them because Steel had like a full 5 seconds to back out to last. So the fact that he died there is a complete mistake from the blue team. Ignoring that, you guys should have been able to like punish this without having... It should have been cleaner. That's the best way I could describe it. You guys got lucky. I think if you guys are playing against a higher level team, they would not have let their medic die, having that even Uber exchange. Okay. Oof. Yeesh. I did a lot of talking right there. I think I'm going to call it a wrap for this demo. So, how can you improve for the future? In your team fights, make sure you're grouping with your team more. Your Ubers could be improved. I've described a number of different ways that you can improve your Ubers by not popping in the middle of nowhere unless you're guaranteed to get kills, taking your Ubers through choke points, and in numbers advantage situations, utilize your numbers to get the Uber force to get a better Uber, rather than swapping the Ubers early. It's better to use the numbers to get the force. And yeah, that's all I got for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys learned something. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Cool. All right, I did 2 demo reviews tonight.